DVD đom đóm yeah yeah. DVD đom đóm yeah yeah. DVD đom đóm yeah. DVD đom đóm yeah yeah. DVD đom đóm yeah yeah. DVD đom DVD đom đóm DVD đom đóm yeah yeah. DVD đom đóm yeah yeah. DVD đom đóm DVD dom, yeah, yeah. CBDBD dom dom, yeah. CBDBD dom dom, yeah, yeah. CBDBD dom dom, yeah. CBDBD dom dom, yeah, yeah. CBDBD dom dom, yeah. CBDBD dom dom, yeah, yeah. CBDBD dom dom, yeah, yeah. CBDBD dom dom, yeah. CBDBD dom dom, yeah, yeah. CBDBD dom dom, yeah, yeah. CBDBD dom dom, yeah, yeah. CBDBD dom dom, yeah. CBDBD dom dom, yeah, yeah.
Ready to be an e-commerce pioneer? Our baked-in premium plugins give you the
Switch to Google Fi Wireless and get our premium unlimited phone plan.
check. What exactly is the sandbox then?
It's a 3D metaverse. The building blocks are voxel.
It's getting taller. Guess what I did on day 341? More building? Nope, psych, I finished the pyramid. When I finished it, I realized the sky limit staircase was in the way of the view. It got to stay up for a while, but the moment it became a minor inconvenience, yeah, it's getting taken down. Then to celebrate this moment, I watched the sun set behind it. I was lying, I actually had some bank issues I had to figure out, that's why I just sat there. They wouldn't let me sign in and I needed to pay a loan. I'm sorry, the government comes before you guys. After all that dirt digging, I had to repair my shovel. The mob farm in Spawn always just has like hundreds of mobs waiting to get killed. This is like society when you are Facebook and I am Mark Zuckerberg. Day 344, I used my melon money to make my base look a little bit better. This money could have been used to save an orphan, but doesn't this look so much better? Day 345, while on the boredom track, I checked on the grass race. It looked exactly tied, so I don't know who's gonna win this. You'll just have to watch the entire video to find out. Day 346, I had an idea for quite a useful project. It just required me to spend some time with a mud patch. That's fine, it's not like I'm rushing to something, I still have 150 days in this hell. All that wood is going to the massive sheep pen. I call it the kitchen sink because it's going to have tons of every colored sheep mixed together. This is something I did when I was like 10 with one of my friends, and it's actually quite useful for getting wool. The easiest way to move the sheep was to just open the sheep pen and see who follows. The pen needed to be far away because if I get as many sheep as I want, it's gonna lag, like a lot. This sheep area is already laggy enough, so imagine if all the sheep start canoodling each other. To breed all the sheep, we're gonna need stacks of wheat, but lucky us, we have that automatic wheat farm. Actually, no, turns out the villagers craft the wheat into bread, and sheep hate bread. So I made a new design where instead of the villager throwing wheat, it gets picked up by hoppers underneath. Day 350, I used some of that wheat to get some kitchen sink babies. You might see from the footage, but I think I started the pen off too big. The sheep are all scattered about, making it take like 10 times as long as you think I tried to light up the pen, but so many of my fans wanted my autograph, I got overwhelmed. Don't worry, I just burned them in the sunlight. By the way, that's not the blood of my fans spilling everywhere, that's a light levels texture pack. I've used it before in the past because what it does is it shows what needs to be lit up during the daytime. But even with torches, slimes are still gonna spawn, and I really can't have them eating my sheep. So I covered the slime chunks with carpet. This stops slimes from spawning, but also allows the sheep to keep eating the grass underneath. It's really tedious though, trying to make the carpet all random. It fits the theme quite well of kitchen sink, but it's taken a while. I got bored of it on day 354, so I did something else. That something else was running around doing nothing. I was so sick of sheep stuff that doing nothing sounded more fun than placing carpet. Day 355, this doesn't look like my super flat, and that's because I played Sky Battle. Honestly, sometimes you need a little break. Except my editor, he better not be slacking off right now. Okay, now I feel bad. I should be working on the kitchen sink right now. Also, I found riding a horse makes it surprisingly easier to breed the sheep. Speaking of horses, a dozen or so days ago there was a thunderstorm and I remember seeing a skeleton horse spawn over here. But I don't remember putting a saddle on it. It's quite a mystery, but not as big as a mystery as what happened on day 359. The footage just disappeared and I wrote nothing in my notes. Maybe I got netherite armor and died with it, we will never know. But day 360 does exist! Because I recently got back from a run in the rain, like in real life, my hands were really cold. Like, you know when they're so cold you can't really move your fingers that well? That's why I didn't get much done today. All I did was buy cake. But that reminded me, now that we have sugarcane, we have all the ingredients to craft a cake. So I dyed the sheep back to white so we can build a cake factory. I spent all the night constructing it, but I ran out of wool quite fast. That's one thing hard about this world, is wanting to build cool things, but feeling like you keep getting interrupted by running out of blocks. That's why I'm glad I had tons of extra mud. I could make this mud brick floor in one go. And good thing I had extra brick because this turned into a mob factory. Day 363, I matched the red dots from the Minecraft's cake onto the cake factory. And by the way, what are those red things? They're too big to be sprinkles, maybe they're cherries, but at that point they could also be strawberries, and technically apple isn't off the table. Okay, I wrote that apple thing as a joke, but I was reading a forum about this, and someone thinks it's apple! What? Well, at least this cake factory is apple free. There were some protesters, but I trapped one in a boat and killed the others. I brought some cows in and named them Daisy and Jay. They're like the names from The Great Gatsby. The other ingredients were quite simple, just a small sugarcane farm, wheat farm, and chicken hole. Day 365, it's been 1 year in this super flat world, and I didn't notice that. I didn't do anything special for it. I wrapped up the decorations in the factory, and I think it looks nice. It's been a while since I've decorated a place, and it was quite fun. Now on the topic of food, I came up with a big project for us to work on. I wanted to cure a farmer villager so I could buy golden carrots from them on the cheap. So first up was to work on the gold farm by breeding pigs. I ran out of carrots, so I harvested the carrot crops, even though I have an automatic farm. I don't know what I was thinking. Day 367, while I waited for the pigs to be able to breed again, I just did some chores. Day 368, I realized if I really wanted to maximize how much gold I could get per thunderstorm, I needed to get more copper. So I spent most of the day in a creative road coming up with a copper farm design. Because zombies don't float in water, I made a design that has zombies sink into a kill chamber and the other mobs float over it and go to an automatic kill chamber. Those zombies turn into drowns who, when killed, can drop copper. Then back to the real world, I chopped more trees at the mud patch. That evening there was a thunderstorm, which would be good for the gold farm, but that was way too early. Also, I know it's day 369, but I'm not doing anything funny. I have a headache. Instead, I built the mob farm. This is like the 5th one I've built. Day 370, I finished the first layer, and yes, I do mean first. One thing I realized is that I can't stand right below the farm, or nothing will spawn because I'm way too close. So day 371, I dug dirt, and day 372, I used that to build a second layer. This will speed up the copper farm, theoretically. I'm not entirely sure. Day 373, another layer wouldn't hurt. It was also evening, we got our first piece of copper. Day 374, I finished the 3rd layer of the copper farm. And I gotta say, I'm impressed because we have been 374 days accident-free at the copper farm. Brick! To mourn the death, I expanded the pig pen. It's what, I forgot the horse's name, but it's what they would have wanted us to do. Day who, when killed, can drop copper. Then back to the real world, I chopped more trees at the mud patch. That evening there was a thunderstorm, which would be good for the gold farm, but that was way too early. Also, I know it's day 369, but I'm not doing anything funny. I have a headache. Instead, I built the mob farm. This is like the 5th one I've built. Day 370, I finished the first layer, and yes, I do mean first. One thing I realized is that I can't stand right below the farm, or nothing will spawn because I'm way too close. So day 371, I dug dirt, and day 372, I used that to build a second layer. This will speed up the copper farm, theoretically. I'm not entirely sure. Day 373, another layer wouldn't hurt. It was also evening, we got our first piece of copper. Day 374, I finished the 3rd layer of the copper farm. And I gotta say, I'm impressed because we have been 374 days accident-free at the copper farm. Brick! To mourn the death, I expanded the pig pen. It's what, I forgot the horse's name, but it's what they would have wanted us to do. Day 376, I grinded for copper and then expanded the pig pen a bit more. I think we can fit 1,000 pigs in here if we ever needed to. Day 377, I couldn't help myself. I built the 4th layer. This is the last one. You can trust me. Then to make grinding for copper faster, I got a Sweeping Edge 3 book. That made it loads easier to kill everything in a big group all at once in the copper farm. That allowed me to craft some copper rods. These will be used to have pigs struck by lightning, turning them into zombie pigmen where we can kill them for gold. I felt happy with the copper I had, so I just had to wait for a thunderstorm. Yeah, it seems like we have enough pigs. Wait, I don't think I can hear you. Pigs, quiet down! Day 380 was spent in the villager house, trying to get a few more enchanted books. One villager sold me Frostwalker, which there's not really oceans to walk across, but maybe I'll mess around with it in the future. More importantly though, I got Fire Aspect 2. Now there aren't really any other enchanted books I need. I don't want to grind for them, but it would be nice to have. Trying to get lucky and get obscure enchantments like Punch for a bow didn't seem worth my time, so instead I harvested sugarcane. There isn't any use for sugarcane, except for crafting cake, but cake can be bought for an emerald from villagers, so let's not act like I'm actually using the cake factory. To give the sugarcane use, I crafted it into loads of paper which I could then trade with librarians, leveling them up. Tomorrow they will sell me new enchanted books. Who am I kidding? They sold trash. But I had gotten to like the idea of having a max enchanted bow, so I know I just called it not worth my time, but I'm gonna waste my time. I started by combining a bunch of bows I'd gotten from mob farms. To get the other enchantments, I just had to cycle through villagers. Once they sold me what I wanted, I boated them off to the library. And you know, didn't take me as long as I thought, because day 384 I had a fully enchanted bow. I tested it out on some golems. I felt pretty confident enough to do a pillager raid. We can't just jump into a raid though, I had to prep beforehand. Last thing I wanted was these villagers dying, or worse, me dying. But it was while protecting the villagers I came up with a secret weapon. I can't tell you what the weapon is yet though, because I know at least one of you is a pillager who's spying on me, so I just gotta play it safe. While I was prepping my weapon, there was a thunderstorm, so I quickly turned the pigs into pigmen, but I didn't have time to kill them. We have a raid to complete. Day 386, I had another great idea, which was to just not do the raid at my base. The villagers would have no chance of dying if I did it far, far away. Even better, I brought some iron golems to do most of the dirty work for me. The next day, I killed the pillager I was saving so I could start the raid. The pillagers thought they were tough, but I got my secret weapon. Okay, maybe I did something wrong with the fireworks, but this is barely even powerful. The regular bow did so much better. But way more powerful than the bow was the iron golems. Probably would have died in the raid without them, especially because they take care of the Vex. Even though it was tough, I finally completed a raid without dying. Because of the hero of the village effect, I spent my time trading with the villagers. Once they stopped selling to me, I got around to killing the zombie pigmen in the gold farm, netting me 31 gold ingots, 32 in total if we use the leftover nuggets. Now, day 389 was so eventful, I can't do it any justice just by talking about it. I just have to show you the entire day. That's it, the whole recording. Riveting stuff, isn't it? God, I love Super Flat. But get this, day 390 is even better. I walk past a horse! So I have a lot to catch you up on. My current goal is to cure a farmer villager so I can buy golden carrots for cheap. Today I was moving a witch into this witch hut I built because I need the witch to throw weakness potions. It's not that hard, but the entire time I kept getting poisoned. Some would call this hell, I call it New Orleans. Day 392, I bought some sand from a wandering trader. But honestly, it doesn't have that much purpose. If I got a cactus, I could grow it. But what purpose would a lot of cactus have? But I wouldn't let that keep me down. I had work to do. To cure the zombie villager, I just had to move it 3 blocks up into the witch hut. It took all day. I'm constantly poisoned, using cheap armor that doesn't have any thorns, and baby zombies stole my sword. Something so easy was just so difficult. But when the witch threw the potion of weakness, I fed the golden apple to the zombie, and by day 393, I had cured a farmer villager. I moved the villager closer to the house because it is now my official golden carrot trader. 1 emerald for 3 golden carrots, that's a good deal. Day 394, I spent looking at my land. I had my game turned on to a 32 chunk render distance. It took a while to load, but you could see so far. Day 395, I found some motivation to work on the giant sheep pen. A few moments later, I was stealing some of those sheep to bring back to my main compound. See, look, it's a pen full of rainbow sheep. Okay, I thought it'd be a lot more colorful. Most of these colors are so bland that they're turning into. Day 396, I did something I've been meaning to do for a while. I'm gonna light this fake beacon. Also, look at this view. It looks so weird because of the fog, but we are so high up. And there's only one correct way to get down. Falling like a meteor. That view gave me inspiration for the next project. See, while I was up there, the library's roof seemed quite empty, so I put pixel art of a book on it. It couldn't be as detailed as I wanted it to because I'm quite limited on blocks, but it looks awesome on the map. Every so often I need a few emeralds, so on day 398 I chopped and sold melons. I like these days because, oh, it's satisfying. Day 399 was busy prepping for a giant 400-day celebration. That celebration will be in the evening, so I kept myself busy with a new project of collecting every mob in Super Flat. I spent the day getting a chicken, cow, and sheep. They'll sit in these little bottles, which I'm pretty sure I stole the design from someone, but I can't remember who. So if it was you who made the design, frick you, I'm stealing it. But now for the grand celebration for making it 400 days, I have 400 fireworks. Wait, actually no, okay, there's a budget cut, and we have 4 fireworks. Day 401, I collected a few more mobs, like a pig. When getting it out of the pen, a lot of other pigs did escape, but they'll soon get what's coming for them. I also got an iron golem, but surprisingly, it didn't need to be in that big of cage. Also, you don't get to know the name of this one. Later, I got a zombie. The creeper was the hardest, though, by far. The little guy was too smart for me. Day 402, so close. It has to be night for me to try again, so I got an easier one in the morning, bees nuts. Actually, never mind, that one escaped too. That evening, I was just trying to kill off all the zombies, and the creeper just crossed the bridge and fell in. Day 403, I took a break from mob collecting to harvest some melons. Oh, and pumpkins too, for the first time ever. You know, the sheep need some attention. There's still slime spawning in their pen, so I turned the chunks into paths. I know it's not carpet, so it doesn't look the best, but I really couldn't be bothered. It takes so much time to carpet a chunk, and that gave me more time to deal with this mess. Before we get started on day 405, the right side of the grass race is ahead. That night, I trapped a bat named Sockful of Pennies. That reference feels so far removed that I don't think anyone will get it. Next was a witch, and it's always fun to move them in boats because they throw potions like they're a catapult. I think the name for the witch is pretty funny because it rhymes with witch and is what you'd call someone. Mitch, yeah, Mitch. Should have called Mitch something else because it popped my totem. Moving the Enderman was probably worse though, and this death message took me by surprise. Wait, hold up, did you see that? Was that a slime? Well, either way, that reminded me I needed to get a slime. Then day 408, well, that was easy. If you remember that flying slime we saw 6 seconds ago, that was my inspiration for the next project, a slime farm. The basic idea is that a slime will spawn on this pillar and then jump into the iron golem. Day 410, I was in a video something else because it popped my totem. Moving the Enderman was probably worse though, and this death message took me by surprise. Wait, hold up, did you see that? Was that a slime? Well, either way, that reminded me I needed to get a slime. Then day 408, wait, well, that was easy. If you remember that flying slime, it reminded me I surprise. Wait, hold up, did you see that? Was that a slime? Well, either way, that reminded me I needed to get a slime. Then day 408, well, that was easy. If you remember that flying slime we saw 6 seconds ago, that was my inspiration for the next project, a slime farm. The basic idea is that a slime will spawn on this pillar and then jump into the iron golem. Day 410, I was in a video call for my Eastern Philosophies class, so I thought it was fitting to finish the yin yang. I started by carving a circle that kinda looks right, and then used a circle generator to make it look perfect. I did collect a lot of dirt from this, but still, that amount of dirt never seems like enough. But here it is, the finished yin yang. Then I proceeded to expand the map and now it doesn't look as cool. But that gave me the idea to map out my base but on a more zoomed out map. It was a brave adventure. My horse risked its life for the completion of the map. That wasn't all though, I had to fill out 2 more maps in the morning just because that's how maps work. It's not like you can make a center of the map wherever you want. Each map is dedicated to a certain area and our base just happened to fall into 4 different areas. But look at it, it's so small and cool. Day 415, I needed to refocus because I'm still not done with the yin yang. I want to turn it into a swimming pool of sorts, and that would be easiest with the Depth Strider enchantment. It then took all day to grind to level 37, but now we have our flippers. Day 416, I started flooding the yin yang, which will turn the black on the map to blue. I really hope this looks good. There's no going back. Now that I'm looking at it, yeah, I'm glad I have copies of both maps. And with that, I couldn't think of any other projects to work on. This entire video, I've been trying to keep myself busy with interesting things, but I think I might be out of ideas. So screw it. Skyblock. Yes, I built a recreation of Skyblock above my super flat world. I'll be here for a couple of days until I get a thing of iron. Getting iron was a similar goal for this super flat world, so I felt like it was fitting. Now, the first problem, I have no lava in this world, so I can't make a cobblestone generator, so I can only use wood. There's also some other items I couldn't have, so I substituted it for other things, like eggs. But the goal for today was to get wood, so I just had to wait for trees to grow. Tomorrow, we go over there. Day 419, I bridged over to the sand island. Now I had to be really careful collecting this, so I built a safe platform for the sand to fall on. Then I broke the string holding it up and was now a proud owner of 27 sand. There was also sugarcane on that island, so it was a no-brainer to start farming it, except I've always been curious why there's sugarcane on like Skyblock islands. Like, what am I gonna use it for? Either way, there was a second water bucket on the sand island, so I could create an infinite water source. Day 420, I'd like to apologize. I didn't realize it was day 420 and did not do anything that would be considered blazing it. I just planted more trees. Once I gathered enough wood, it was time for the bazillionth mob farm of the series, but this one is the first one not built out of dirt. I actually didn't have enough wood, so I had to head back down to gather some more. While waiting for the trees to grow, I spent my time fishing, because without that, I'd probably starve. Day 423, while wrapping up the mob farm, well, that was fun. I expected to survive longer, but I guess I overestimated my skill. It's good to be humbled every now and then, so I built a monument to remember my experience. Day 425, I felt like I put so much work into the yin yang, but didn't do anything with it. So I made tons of copies and hid them around the base. But while hiding them, I found some of my farmer villagers to be zombie villagers. I'm the only doctor here, so I have to be the one to cure them. Last time it took me all day to just move one villager up to the witch because I had to use my regular iron armor. My good set had thorns, which means every time a mob attacked me, they took damage, which could kill the zombie we're trying to cure. So I made a regular Prot 4 set, and while trying to move the zombie villagers, I found that it was a baby zombie that killed all the villagers. As if this night couldn't get unlucky enough, I stumbled upon a black cat. I've been going for an achievement of having every cat breed, but stopped once the commenters told me black cats only spawn in witch huts. So what the heck is it doing on my front porch? Writing this now, it seems ironic that after I built a witch hut, I found a black cat, but the real reason it spawned was because it was a full moon. By the morning, I had 2 of the zombie villagers cured. The third and final one I could cure was a bit trickier because I didn't want it burning in the sunlight. But rewatching the footage, it had a gold helmet on. It wouldn't have been burnt by the sun. The real problem was that once I started the curing process, the little guy just started carting away. It's not all bad though, because it gave me an idea for some new projects. The first step wasn't building, it was removing this mob farm. It's so fun tearing this whole thing down. For the like 5 or 6 mob farms I've built, it was a good break to finally destroy one for once. I gotta say, I didn't realize how much shade the mob farm has been creating, but now that it's gone, this area over here is just so much brighter. Also, if you're sad that the mob farm is gone, don't worry, reincarnation is canonical in my super flat world. I realized it'd be a waste to not have a mob farm in spawn churning in the background, giving us stuff like bones automatically. This is now like the 7th one I've built. The only thing interesting about this one is how tall it is. Day 430, I'm back to the villagers, and yeah, these guys had to go. I can't risk catching what they got. I have 70 more days to play. Day 431, I built a villager breeding house. Right through the middle, there's a train track that will pick up villagers to move to the farmer trading hall. Let's just say there were some openings in the trading hall that I needed to fill, and I might expand the trading hall later. Day 432, the villagers moved into the breeding house. They will be the Adam and Eve of all the new villagers. One problem though, the children are able to escape through the minecart hole. Now it's rare because villagers won't walk over rails regularly, so it acts as a barrier. But if they get pushed onto the rails, they will then just have the freedom to walk out. So I installed the one-way child tube. If one of them escapes, they can walk back through here and fall back into the breeder. Day 434, I went fishing. If you have a good memory, you might know why. It was for the black cat. With that one tamed, there are only 3 variants left. Good thing I don't need the cats alive because that's not my fault. Day 436 started off with a bang. Also, I got the Search Protector achievement, it just gave it to me. Later I checked on the slime farm, nice to know I spent 10 stacks of iron for this. That's what we in the economy industry call a bad investment. Also another economics lesson, ever since our farmer villagers died, the demand for melons has fallen. That meant I had lots of leftover that needed to be put to a project. A big giant melon in the sky always seems to do the trick. It took all day to build, but it was as worth it as a giant melon in the sky can be. Day 438, who do we appreciate? There were plenty of zombie pigmen ready to be harvested for gold in the gold farm. I walked away with 54 gold. After updating my maps, I just kind of sat there for the rest of the day. I was distracted doing who knows what, but then I noticed I was AFK and moved myself to a cooler AFK spot. When I finally got back to it, I did some target practice, but I think I discovered a glitch. Like the arrow is gone, but the flames are still there. Don't hire me as a game tester though, because I couldn't figure out what made this happen. Day 441, I rediscovered the joys of making paths. They just add a lot to a world. It gives everything a sense of connectedness. Day 442 starts my favorite part of the video because I took a vacation to the mud patch. The reason I went in the first place was to collect some podzol for the paths at home, but the area I dug out kind of looked like a river, so I filled that up and terraformed around it. But I had a lot of fun chopping trees and building hills, so I decided to stay the night. Then in the morning, I started work on a cabin. You know, I said in the past I hate building buildings, but I think this cabin gets a pass. It used a lot of spruce, but I'm in a spruce forest, there's plenty of that here. Maybe that's why I enjoyed this one. I'm not stopping every minute to go grab the new block I need. I can just build and try out a bunch of different things. And I think it turned out, especially the roof. I just had some time to decorate in the evening. This is nice. I was gonna stop there, but chopping trees is giving me something to do and was just relaxing. I realized since I was chopping so much, I might as well make a logging shed. The inspiration was a shed that my great-grandfather had in his backyard. He also had a big mink shed where he raised, bred, and got fur from these little creatures called mink. Hopefully my editor is showing you one right now on screen. But don't worry, when the mink were harvested for fur, they didn't feel a thing. because they were killed with gas. And that's kind of why mink coat's out of style, just the ethical problems with it. Now back to Minecraft. That evening it started to rain, and for the first time in years, I just sat and enjoyed a Minecraft rainstorm. When was the last time you did that? Or when was the last time you watched a video where they took time to just sit here and enjoy the rain? I don't know, there's just a different feel over at the mud patch. I wish I did this earlier. There was a giant slime in my house and I just thought it was hilarious. Also, slimes don't count as hostile mobs in the sense of others because I was able to sleep with them at my bedside. Day 449 was more tree chopping so I could keep expanding the mud patch. Day 450 was more of the same. And day 451 I built a little shack to sell wood. I bet the slimes would love to buy from here. Sadly, day 452 is corrupted, but I had built this trampoline that night. Even worse, there's no footage of me ever using it. Then day 453, I built a little tent and campsite and decided I was happy with what I had built and it was time to go home. But what really pushed me to go home was that I learned you can put chests on trading llamas. I did have to kill their owner. Oops. The whole idea behind these guys is that they can act like shulker boxes for me. I could bring them somewhere and fill their chests with items, letting me move more stuff around. Also, you can put carpet on them. Look at these designs, they're so cool. And that was it. That started the Great Llama Obsession. Day 455, the baby llamas are cute, but they grew up later that day. I knew llamas can carry more stuff than 3 stacks, and I thought it was just random chance to breed a llama to have a carrying capacity of 15. Later, I'll learn how wrong I am. But anyways, that evening I moved villagers from the breeder into their new spots where they will sell me melons forever and ever and ever, or until they get zombified again. Day 456, I spent all my emeralds to level up those farmer villagers, cause you know what they say, to make money you gotta lose your entire net worth. But no matter what, I still have my llamas with me. I